Converge and Chelsea Wolfe, Blood Moon 1. Fuck. God, this last quarter, if not this last half of the year, has just fucking surprised me. Honestly. And we're not even done there yet. Got a couple things. I got an EP an EP and an album from a band. I don't expect though Cynic apparently to do anything. That's my next record, by the way. And then I think an EP from it's funny how there's an EP from War on Police, and yet the one album that's just my best of 2019, and another band that came close to that in best of 2019 that year winds up also deciding to come out with an EP. Yes, thank you, Scientist. So expect that, but we're not here to talk about that. I just felt like I needed to tell you that was what was going on. But as far as what we're actually here for, the review of this album, my God, the great phrase from what's his name? What's the announcer guy again? The great Jim Ross. My God, that's this album, dude. My God. I don't know how certain types of Converge fans will feel, but I'm here to tell you there are aspects of what you expect from Converge here. There are aspects you expect from Chelsea Wolfe here, and then something else from the start of this title track leading up into Blood Dawn. Now, here's the thing. The title track and Coil, which were the singles of this record, hell, the track in between those two that is on this album, Viscera of Man, you think you're supposed to start getting into some hardcore, like, fucking mosh territory shit with Viscera of Men, and then it just goes back to this sort of... It's basically the thing in the history about this band's project. If I can look it up myself here. Crazy people outside doing burning rubber and all that stupid shit. But anyways. So through flesh and bone, I'm gonna do this live anyway. I don't care. I do care about this album, or else I wouldn't be looking up at this stuff. But yeah, like this is my first experience with Chelsea Wolfe. I'm telling you, man. Like, what's happening here? Oh shit. Like, I wasn't, oh, it is, there is an EP out that's like, son of a bitch, I missed it. Yeah, as far as what this album is, and from what I know of this Blood Moon project, it is essentially, I'm told that it's, in this collaboration thing, there's numerous things, apparently. The one that was with Cave-In, and apparently this current project that is Blood Moon, which started around in April 2016. All four members of Converge at the time had guests Chelsea Wolfe, Ben Crimson, also of Chelsea Wolfe, Stephen Brodsky of Cave-In, and Steve Tontil of Neurosis. There are some members that were involved in this band that were apparently a part of this, collaborated for 4 limited European performances titled Blood Moon. The collective performed ambient post-rock interpretations of various tracks from Converge's discography, particularly their lesser heard and slower work. the first of the many of the sets. However, it seems the band and that's apparently it started there. It basically started their first set being in Berlin. Electric Brixton. Final Blood Moon show took place after a special one-off Converge set where they played an album Jindo in its entirety. It's in the Netherlands. Tom Early. Jacob Bannon had such a powerful, clean voice, or just how well it would mesh with Chelsea Wolfe's. I stood rooted to spot for a good half hour, if not more, totally sucked in by what was happening on stage. It was obvious that the musicians involved had put a lot of thought in what they were presenting up there. And then all of a sudden, this leads into the current Blood Moon album, which is which I wish I had more information. I don't know why I'm not getting any, but this is the first thing in a while. That's what happened with this, and then it now led to this project that had been happening for months now. And yeah, and it seems to have this very cultish nature. There's slower stuff of the more sludgier aspects of Converge specifically. You still get some hardcore elements here and there, like I said, with Viscera of Man. Or at least that's how this whole thing started and came across, was these live shows where they were basically just toying and with their own material with Chelsea Wolfe and doing all this stuff. And now it seems the band's Blood Moon project here seems to be more, which dealt with Coil, and I don't know if some of these songs are older songs, but it's Blood Moon, Viscera of Men, Coil. Flower Moon was pretty good. Then Tons Playing Dead is where things start to get constrained. Lord of Liars is definitely up there, and it just, from that point forward, this album goes fucking, just somehow reaches this extended peak that just goes throughout the entire album. From Failure Forever to Scorpion Sting, which has this more bluesy take of things. Or at least the bluesier side of sludgy. It's sort of a more rock and rollish element, or at least the more bluesier rooted element of metal. That's sludge, that metal that is also somewhat shared with southern rock, I guess. The southern rock of the 70s as well. But maybe not as southern, I'd say. It's more straightforward, more bluesy in that regard. And Scorpion Sting, I mean, and his solo is fucking awesome too. Damon is probably the second longest track, next to the opening title track, and is fucking epic. But it's Crimson Stone where things get even better, and you start to wonder, why isn't this track, by the time this is over, you wonder, why isn't this the track that's ending the record? Then you get to Blood Dawn, and it's a little on the softer side, a weird way to end things, but the way they end it, I think and how it fades out and leaves you in silence for like 10 to 15 seconds, just to soak in what you just heard throughout. And let me tell you, oh my God, Converge is still, they did something out of the ordinary that I'm not sure if people can call this a Converge record. And it's not technically a Converge album. It is a collaborative effort between them and Chelsea Wolfe. Blood Moon basically I understand Blood Moon needs to be its own thing, but how else were they going to sell us on this album if it wasn't for their own names of being Converge and Chelsea Wolfe being big enough names on their own? That's collaborative effort. They could help stand out and do what needed to be done to get this album noticed, and it deserves to. I understand them calling this Blood Moon 1 because they plan on doing this collaboration again at some point in the future, and I can see why, because holy shit, this is this damn good. I understand if they want to hold off for a while to do it, but God, Yeah, holy fuck. This thing is worth, I don't care who you are, honestly. I think you should give this a listen. And then, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, if you try to go into Converge after this record, you probably should start with the previous album, or the album I've been told this is sort of like. I can't say fully for sure, and I kind of want to do a separate little thing where we talk, I could do something more in depth about this album, but I'm not sure if I should, or at least get thoughts on somebody in particular that is the reason why I'm even know of Converge, a couple people specifically. But yeah, I think this album fucking rules, and it really is that good of an album. And I think anyone thinks this is going to be too mainstream or poppy. If it is poppy, it's more closer in line with like Baruch pop, so it's still pretty dark. It fits that sort of nature as well, and especially in the instrumentation. It's very Baruch in its instrumentation in places, at least the folkier aspects. The indie folk poppier aspects are more Baruch pop oriented, or at least that's what I get out of Chelsea Wolfe's stuff. It's very gothic rock, Baruch pop blended style that she does, I think. I'm not as familiar, but I think that's kind of what I gathered from this record, is those ideas and what she's done with that person that's collaborated with her, is involved in this project, her main like co-writer, collaborator, and what we got from the members of Converge here, and some of the guys that were involved in Cave In, Mutoid Man, that I think was involved as a main member of said band at one point. And I'm told this album has some slight hints of You Fail Me era Converge. Even though I do see some aspects of this album even being sort of similar-ish to where seems they kind of left off from where we were with them on this past album, The Dusk in Us, I think. At least certain aspects, it seems, of that kind of did hint at this in a way, even though I could understand some people saying, well, maybe not as much as I would think, but yeah, overall, guys, I gotta give it. Horns Up, Masterclass, Converge, you did it again. You surprised me, and fuck, it's fucking awesome. I hope that to God that my one friend who is the reason why I even know of or am into Converge at this point likes this album, or at least appreciates the fuck out of this thing for what it is. Because I think he might like it if he just appreciates for what it is, and just that this is a beautiful collaborative effort between them two that has been built up for years from live shows they've done together, of multiple different Converge albums they've done. And this album is just, I guess it's its own sort of material, but I'm not sure if they're reworkings of the songs, because those stuff they did live were reworkings. I don't know if this is reworkings of those songs or at all, but I love what this is, and even musically. I hope people give this album a chance. And what these two collaborating together is probably one of the best They've collabed before with other artists, but I think this one's a huge one. And apparently there's another collab just found out, that Elder and some other band. So I'm might be looking forward to that project, maybe, if it's hopefully better than the last Elder record. But anyways, this album fucking rocks all the way. Masterclass certification. It's an experience, and I don't know, like, it's becoming harder and harder to figure out what album I want to put as the best of this year. I just don't know. I just don't know. But what did you guys think of this album? What do you think of Blood Moon 1? What do you think? Should we see clearly more of this and the collaborations from them, or is Blood Moon 2 even going to live up to this? I don't know. I hope we wait a while to see if this does work. because it sounds awesome so far. What did you guys think of it? Leave a comment below. Let me know. If you like this video, rock the like button with thrust if you must. Also, hit the subscribe button. Click the notification bell. Links in the description below to all my other sources. Mostly my own Facebook page where you can like and follow me there. This is Rockin' Movies with Tyler Been Tyler. Keep it, and as always, guys, keep it random. Just keep it random. Keep it real. Keep it rocking. I'll see you in the next video. And take care, y'all. Fucking converge. God